All right, Sam.
Hello.
Things are getting wild.
Are they?
Where? Yeah, dude.
What's going on?
Well, everyone's talking One Piece lately, and DMs all over the. Well, yeah, you've seen some of that shit.
No.
It's crazy.
No, I haven't.
No.
Sorry, I'm out of touch.
Out of touch. Okay, I see how it is.
I'm not a One Piece stan, but yeah, tell me about it.
Well, they got the whole live action thing all over the place. It's you got these freaky giant snails on the desk, and people are using them as telephones and radios. And, honestly, just the giant ass realistic fleshy snail on the desk is what gets me.
Sounds like a transponder snail.
It is. Shit, I don't even know where to begin.
I didn't know One Piece had D&D connections.
Well, I did find a D&D 5th edition One Piece PDF, which is still a work in progress, but damn if it doesn't have some amazing things that I've been looking into in it.
Interesting. We'll have to talk about it a little bit later.
Oh, absolutely. But it's just like one of those cool things. Like, I have a new lease on life, Sam, and it's not even just because like we got crazy D&D potential coming out of One Piece right now, but I found this lever on the bottom side of my chair.
Okay.
And it pushed my chair up, so I get like a better camera angle now.
Nice.
It's the little things.
It was going to be like a pull the lever Kronk situation.
Well, if I pull it, I still fall, so yes. Absolutely. And with that, why don't we start the show? And welcome to Dungeons and Talkshows, the talk show that brings you monsters, news, and homebrews, and hopefully some snails too. I am your host, Orion.
And I am your host, Sam. Welcome back to another episode.
And we happen to have, in talking about snails, we have a special guest with us today. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, hi there. I'm Max. Or online known as Grimley533, and I'm probably best known for the Player's Guide to Insectopia, a 5th edition supplement that includes insect-themed races, classes, and feats.
That's awesome.
I really do love it. We talked about that like a couple months ago, and a concept of a Bug's Life campaign. That's wild. Like with an insect theme setting, you could take the most mundane thing, like okay, giant like a park with picnic baskets and shit, and all of a sudden that's a map.
Okay, I'm sure it's been done already, but who doesn't love a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids situation? Right? Like send your players into like their front yard. Suddenly they're like fighting these weird bugs. It's awesome. Like.
All right. Like you saying you could make like some of the players be normal, generic D&D races, and then the party comes together because of the insectoid players.
Exactly. Right. I would even go as far as like you have like your party be like 3 or 4 like regular people, right? And then they meet people of like the insectoid races, and they're like, oh shit, they're actually kind of cool.
Exoskeletons, dude. What more can I say?
Yeah.
I like
that armor, baby.
I've always find, the opportunities that like things can go through the power of like insect ideas. So, and I feel like they don't do enough with insects.
I would say you're probably right about that, because insects are really cool.
Yeah, right? I mean, yeah, gross bugs, whatever, but like they can do a lot of stuff. Like
For sure.
You know, and I always think about when I think about people using bugs or like, fighting a lot of bugs or something like that. I always go to like Naruto, right? You have characters like Shino who use insects. And that's like and I always very prevalent think about when I think about usage in my brain for something like magic, fighting a lot of bugs or something like that. I always go to like, why don't they do that more?
Right? It's just I don't even know where to begin with all of that, It's like, where do you begin?
Yeah. It makes me think of the Plague Doctor character I made. I gave him a very heavy like swarm ability to swarm theme to his abilities.
Right.
That's really awesome. Yeah. Actually, in my Insectopia Player's Guide, we also have the Swarmkeeper Ranger, for example. That's all based around having your own like a team of up to 3 little minions, insectoid minions to fight with.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I always love the hive mind kind of idea. Things, it was always really cool, really scary.
Like the kind of villains that you can kind of fit into that, it's wild because like you said, hive mind. The entire big bad for a campaign could be the queen behind the hive, and like you got a lot of soldiers to work through, a lot of workers.
Yeah, I mean the pressure just from like the term of something being a hive mind is like it's immediate like, oh shit, like how deep can this go now? Like what kind of hive mind is it?
Yeah, like say you're dealing with ants, dude. An anthill is a dungeon out of the gate. Non-negotiable.
For sure.
Oh man.
Huge tunnel systems you have to track through, meeting the different ant soldiers and having to fight through everything.
So cool.
Yeah.
I would love to play a campaign like that.
You ever see when they pour like a molten aluminum into anthills and they pull it out and like they have those I mean, first off, the terrible thing to do. I do not endorse that.
Very much so.
In peace to the ant Pompeii civilizations.
Yeah. But they're so cool and intricate. I don't condone how they're made, but holy fuck.
Maybe they like get all the ants out or something. Probably not.
No.
What they sign like a raid siren? All the ants out of the hill.
I don't know. Maybe I can hope. All right, I can hope.
I know.
Billions of ants getting schmirked in a Pompeii situation. All right.
Do you think they have like molten aluminum drills?
Oh man.
Yeah, like you do when you're a kid in school. Like the molten aluminum alarm goes off.
They probably do when it rains.
So I have to ask, where what inspired you initially? Like, what was that trigger that's like, damn, I need more bugs in D&D?
Yeah, so my first inspiration actually came from the Brazilian artist Thiago Lehmann. It's the art you see in the player's guide as well.
Ooh.
He created this amazing series of small artworks centered on insectoid characters or insectoid fantasy characters, and I just saw them on Instagram and thought, man, those would be so great for D&D. They would make so extremely good, like playable races, and you could do so much with that. So I basically created it was the best point race, so the bee, bumblebee and wasp race first. That was my very first post on Unearthed Arcana, on the Unearthed Arcana subreddit, and it absolutely blew up. Probably thanks to the amazing artwork. And then Thiago reached out to me and saw the post, and we've become actually quite good friends.
You know what? That's really funny that you do say that, because when I first saw the Insectopia, like obviously it was the name. I was like, wait, insects? Kind of interesting. And then I saw the artwork, and I was like, Oh man.
Yeah, it just
Really
hooks you
nice.
in. And
I was
it,
like,
it's double as good because the first thing he goes with is like bees and wasps. So like that already gets like the average nerd's Pokemon brain going with like a fucking bee drill.
dude, it's so Hollow Knight, and I love it.
Yeah, man. You can't even imagine the amounts of messages I got that were saying like, oh my god, I can do a Hollow Knight D&D campaign now. Thank you so much.
That sounds
so
cool. Like I've only seen clips of Hollow Knight. I've never actually played it, but I respect how cool it looks.
Hollow Knight is fun. That game is fucking hard. Like, it's fun.
I do respect high difficulty.
Out there listening, looking to run one of these games, and you want to, hook up with the Nerd Militia, let us know.
Ooh, I'd be down to play an insect type character in a campaign like that.
So fun.
I don't even know what I would play. Like, dude, there's so many interesting ones.
I would want to play that.
Well, you got it easy. I got like decisions to make if I get into that.
Well, you have my complete compendium you can take inspiration out of. So
absolutely.
Yeah, these are so cool.
You just supplying a whole gallery.
I love it. All right, but before we get too deep in stuff, what do we want to talk about first? The news, or do we want to dive deeper into the?
Well, I tell you what, I do have a couple news bits this week. So how about we'll split it up? Like.
I'm excited to be back, and I feel like there's so much to talk about.
There's been a lot that's happened since you were gone.
I missed you guys last week.
Oh, you were missed too. We had like half our normal viewership, so Sam is very missed.
So special thanks.
You just can't replace a guy like that. So moving into I'll start with the funniest thing, just because Wizards has had a wild year, and I can't get enough of it. I really can't. Let me just pull up my thing here for the little. Where did I put it? Oh, I have to reassign. Well, ain't that fun?
What happened?
Let's see. There it is. It's just difficult working with the OBS sometimes. It just don't want to do. But that's okay. I finally got it. So, moving into what we got going on here. Wizards has decided to make a Magic the Gathering Wilds of Eldrin with a anime trailer. So they're doing a new set and whatnot, and pumping out cards as always. People have been overly critical about some of their business practices with that, but don't you worry, everybody. We're gonna make up for shady business practices by hiring the studio that made Naruto and Attack on Titan.
Okay, all right.
Anime intro, guys.
They have my curiosity, I suppose.
It's just like, okay, well, you know what? You piqued my interest.
Because this could kind of be fire. Because if they do like a whole like tailed beast kind of deck set, that could go crazy.
Well, it's not. It's just the studio. It's not the actual.
Oh, they're not doing like a whole like crossover thing?
No, it's just like a
lame, boo.
It's just like this weird thing that they're doing, and they're making an original thing to promo their stuff.
Interesting. Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
See, the problem with this is not crossover.
Yeah, the hype's over because like it's all like kind of they got an anime intro. So what you gonna do?
Right.
Oh, wait. They got a little bit of the trailer right here.
Oh, can we show it? Are we allowed to?
I'm not going to show the audio, but I can take a couple clips out of it. Like, the only problem is we're doing the rest of our stuff through Discord, so it's like, okay. But, you know, the viewers can see some of it.
We'll put the link in the description. Maybe French will put it on the...
Yeah. I'll copy that and send it to both of y'all. I'll pop it in our general chat on the Discord.
Another thing, we gotta start doing more
stuff. What is this music that they got going on? I highly encourage everyone to kind of like check that out when they get a chance. I'm not exactly an OBS master, but
check this one. Oh, it's 3 minutes long. Oh.
Yeah, like they made a 3-minute long anime clip to make up for all their shady stuff they've been doing this year.
Do this? I see the same thing for like what's that game called? Warhammer. Okay, I see those trailers and they look crazy, and then I see the game and I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Honestly. To be fair, though, I like Warhammer 40K. My first exposure to it was the that old PC game Dawn of War, and that real-time strategy. You build your base, you build up all your shit, and you got to mobilize those units, but you got to do it quick because the enemy's doing it too. Get that fog of war. You got to get out there, fight multiple factions at the same time, and I really like the Tau, but like I do not agree with their fascist galaxy ideals. I just think they look cool. Just gotta put that out there in case anyone was wondering. Orion does not support space fascism with space Nazis.
We appreciate that on this podcast. All right, moving on. Oh man, sounds interesting. Albeit now that I'm slowly hoping for a Naruto crossover, that does sound pretty cool.
Well, there was already a failed Naruto card game, so maybe someone could pick up the old IP on that. Apparently, you can buy abandoned intellectual properties. I found that out recently.
Project for the TheNerdMilitia, perhaps?
Are you suggesting we convince the entire nerd community to get Wizards of the Coast to go bankrupt and then buy all the intellectual property for ourselves?
Yes. I mean, if we wait
for
long
nerds
enough,
by the nerds.
Look, man. Honestly, if we wait long enough, they'll do it to themselves.
True. Yeah.
I don't always endorse corporate suicide, but when I do.
We wish you the best, Mr. Coast, but it looks like it's not going out that way.
I'd say do better, but that would involve having a better boss that isn't Hasbro.
I mean,
what are they going to do? Get another job? Yep. Unemployed Wizards of the Coast will write D&D books for food. Here, have $2 and a leftover McDonald's burger.
Watch, I bet they'll be coming to the homebrew creators and be like, "Hey, I like this book you made. You think we should
dump all their assets, bankrupt the company, and start a new company called Warlocks of the Coast?" Finally, out from under Hasbro's thumb.
Finally, the prophecy has been foretold.
Not that we're putting any ideas out there to any people in particular, Wizards of the Coast.
We would never.
Well, certainly not.
Anyway, what do we have next in the news segment here?
Well, let's see. Continuing on the Wizards of the Coast bandwagon, they recently this week released the playtest number 7 for their whole 1 D&D that's no longer 1 D&D, and they can't decide what it's gonna be called. And they went and reverted a bunch of things, updated a couple old things. So it's really a lot like how D&D 5e was, except just tweaked.
So it sounds kind of unnecessary, to be honest.
Yeah, like what before?
Yeah, so let's see. Barbarian attack recklessly for a full round rather than just one turn. Yeah, okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Path of the Wild Heart, formerly Path of the Totem Warrior, has updated options. Oh wow, because
Okay.
they update
changed the name of it because of Baldur's Gate 3. Because
Yeah.
I think in that game it's called the Wild Heart Barbarian.
Yeah, they decided to change some names. Like, what was wrong with Totem Warrior?
I like the totem. I like the idea of having the, you know.
Yeah, like your ancestral totem. It's like, oh, my clan has lived by the totem of the bear for generations, and I have finally earned the bear's blessing. Because the bear totem barbarian is the only one that anyone actually used.
Isn't there like the like Phoenix one or something, right? Like a falcon or something like that?
There were some birds and other shit, but I've never met a barbarian player that went totem and used anything other than bear.
I mean,
Yeah, true.
Let's see. They got the new Path of the World Tree subclass up and updated Berserker, which Berserker was kind of lacking for reasons that everybody had. Not going to beat the dead horse there.
right.
And they updated the Zealot subclass.
Okay.
Brutal Critical gets a damage buff. And that's it for Barbarian. With Fighter, they gave us a Brawler subclass, something that they should have had out of the gate.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my god, about time. What the heck?
That's been missing for a long time.
You shouldn't have had to, like,
We've been
basically craft your own brawler with all these. Like...
We've been. The thing is, the community's been crafting brawlers for years because Wizards didn't have the gall to do it themselves. I can't tell you how many brawler subclasses I've seen in our homebrew searches for our weekly homebrew.
Yeah. And some of them are really good. So
some of them are. Like, some are good. Some are unbalanced. Like, there's just so many of them. I don't dare highlight one of them because they're just, which one?
Yeah.
Let's see. Fighters also got the Tactical Mind and Tactical Shift expand the use of Second Wind. Okay. So making fighters a little bit better. About damn time. Studied attacks grants advantage on attack rolls against an enemy that you've missed an attack on against them. Okay. And they updated some Battle Master maneuvers.
Good. Nice. Then
we got Sorcerer. Innate Sorcery empowers your spellcasting for a limited time. Sorcery Incarnate and Arcane Apotheosis. I can speak, damn it. Boost your meta magic while innate sorcery is active. Sorcerer's Restoration is available at 5th level and scales with your sorcerer level. So about damn time. I love playing sorcerer, so it's good to see some actual sorcerer buffs.
I agree. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And Wild Magic Sorcery is now more reliably allows you to roll on the Wild Magic Surge table.
Let's go!
More chaos, yes.
Yeah. Who could say no to chaos? So then with Warlock, they went back to Pact Magic because apparently they tried to change it. Invocations are now available at 1st level, and your options have been revised. Woohoo! Pact boons are now invocations, And Mystic Arcanum is once again a class feature. Wow, that's a whole lot of work to go back and just have normal Warlock.
Yeah, right.
Patron spells are always prepared. Wait, I've never actually played a Warlock. What the fuck do you mean patron spells aren't always prepared?
So they mean with that patron spells, I think you only expand your Warlock spell list with the patron spells, so you don't really need to take them or have them always on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what I thought. Like, what the fuck you mean prepared spells? Warlocks aren't a prepared spellcaster. Am I stupid or something?
I don't know.
Maybe they changed that as well.
Yeah,
maybe. Maybe there was a change that I missed. They updated the Archfey Patron, Celestial, Fiend, Great Old One subclasses.
Okay.
Okay, well, I still don't think they have enough subclasses for Warlock. Like,
they'll never have enough for Warlock, honestly.
Have they made a proper dragon one for Warlock? I don't think they did.
No, they have.
No.
Like,
they could.
How do you not have Tiamat as a proper dragon patron?
Yeah, like when I played that Dragonborn Warlock, I had to homebrew my own, like.
Yeah, you showed me a homebrew. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll allow it, but like, it's just so obvious.
Yeah, like why isn't that a thing?
I mean, the game is called Dungeons and Dragons. So.
Yeah, it's Dungeons and Dragons. They released an entire book about dragons and stuff, but they couldn't be bothered to put a dragon patron in the book. Major ball drop, and this is why you're failing, Wizards.
Yeah, exactly.
Get it together.
Speaking of Wizards, there are a couple changes to Wizards. Spellcasting feature now allows you to swap out a cantrip on each long rest. Oh, okay, cool. That's some utility.
Right. Yeah,
you can.
That's nice.
Yeah, that was already an alternative spell. Well, I think that was already an alternative rule that people were experimenting with.
Yeah.
So some DMs might just veto that out of the gate, but whatever. Memorize spell is now a feature. Modify spell and create spell have been removed from the game. Wow, who knew being able to modify your spells and create new spells would be a problem?
This is why I do this like personally within my own games. Like I allow, some spellcraft a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Because that's how homebrew spells work. If you want to create a spell, you don't need a spell to create or modify a spell. Just talk to your DM. Be like, okay, my character is going to undergo research, time, and effort to make a spell.
Mm-hmm. Because you have to keep in mind, like, when you have a spell caster, they're not just like scrolling through a list, setting like a preset spell, popping that bad boy. You know what I mean? They're going through a process phase. These are trained and learned maneuvers.
Yeah,
like there's no reason that they couldn't, think about how this spell forms and then change it in certain ways,
Absolutely. Like in the case of if we want to go with Naruto, because they clearly like Naruto as much as we do, he didn't just start with a Rasen Shuriken. He started with a normal Rasengan for his spell, and then he had to go and make a new one. He had to develop it. It took time, effort, and resources. But then he made something new. Then he talked to his dungeon master, and then it got approved. And then it was OP and never got nerfed.
Yeah. I experience, a lot of my players, they have a spell they like in theory, but they're like, I wish it wasn't like this. There's no reason you couldn't, attempt to make a change. Tweak it in a way that you like that fits your character a little bit more. It's kind of the whole feel of flavor, but to the extent of this is your spell. You learned the spell in some way.
Yeah, you let me use Lilia's elemental clone in our current campaign. I've only used it once, and I haven't even abused it.
No, and you use it in a very cool way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
I always appreciate you guys.
I try to aspire to be the player that my DM wants me to be.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. They did make some minor spell changes. So counterspell and jump have been updated. I'll have to look into that. I didn't know that they made any changes to jump. Oh, let's see. I can't. You know what? I'm reading this on like D&D Beyond. So like when it references these spells, it goes to how they are on the site. So I don't know if there's any actual difference there.
Mm-hmm.
It's all weird self-referential stuff.
Right.
But
yeah, I feel like all of this stuff is, subject to change by whoever's DM is, whatever.
Right. Let's see. Last thing we got going on here for their big update is says here, although grouping spells under Arcane, Divine, and Primal the spell lists was a fun experiment, we felt it benefits to not outweigh some of the new challenges we faced. So they're going back to class spell lists rather than just this new Arcane, Divine, Primal setup.
Okay. Interesting.
So when I first read the, I think it was the very first 1D&D Unearthed Arcana thingy, I thought that the change to have like these arcane primal divine spell list was kind of a cool idea. It was something new. It would have been something new for the new edition, and now they're just going back on it. So
right, you know what? And that makes me think of I just started listening to this book and I just finished it the other day, and they did something very similar to this. The way they kind of grouped up the magics were very interesting. They had like origin, you create something, that's like your elemental magics, your stuff like that. Then you have dominion, your role and manipulation over things, stuff like that. You get like your necromancy in there. You get your like telekinesis and stuff like that, your mind magic. And then you have what was it called? It was augmentation. Yeah. Kind of change your body or alter your form or something like that. And I kind of like the way that's kind of described and kind of groups magic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if they had done something similar to that, it would have made a lot of sense. And they should have stayed with it. Like why?
Right. I think Wizard needs to like stick to their more creative.
Yeah, they're way too wishy-washy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I appreciate the effort, but
yeah. Now they're just basically creating D&D 5e again. It's
here we go again.
I wonder if they even know like what they're doing. Like at this point, like
I think they don't. I actually think they don't.
They're just confused.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. What next on the list here, Orion? You got the One Piece live action. You want to talk about that?
Stupid inhaler.
I think I'll touch on that in a little bit, but I'm really curious about what you got going on for the monster this week.
Yes. I thought, why not keep kind of the insect theme? I was a little bit curious. I had never seen an arachne in monster book or anything like that. So I did some research.
You mean a drider?
Yeah. I did some research, then I talked to you and you told me about a drider.
Yeah, I was talking about it on the show last week because there's this webcomic I used to read when I was in high school called Spinneret. And this, so Homegirl gets spider powers, right?
Right.
Typical Spider-Man-esque thing, except she grows some extra arms and has to hide them inside a fat suit, and then everyone's like, oh, you're fat. Meanwhile, when she's at home with a roommate, I got girl abs! Look at me, this is fucking awesome! And the first villain she runs up against is also calling herself Spinneret, and this villain chick, she got her spider drider form from taking one of Gygax's first D&D books that had in their canon actual spells. So in this entire canon comic continuity, the D&D gods are real. So she strikes a contract with Lolth to become a Drider. Like, she chose this.
Awesome.
Interesting. That is pretty cool. And it definitely made me think of, you see Arachnes everywhere. You got Soul Eater, you got Monster Masune, you got all kinds of shit. You see Arachnes, and I was like, I never saw one in D&Ds. And then you told me about the Drider, so I looked up some little bit about it, and I was like, this is pretty cool. So why not talk about Driders and Arachnes?
Tell us all about them.
Oh man, this gave me the excuse to talk about Greek mythology again. Y'all know how much I love that shit.
I'm biased towards Greek mythology, being Orion.
Exactly. So first things first, you're gonna hear me reference Lolth a lot, like you did already. For those of you who may not know who or what Lolth is, empty out those ears, listen up, and you'll be confused. So Lolth was a chaotic, evil, lesser deity known as the Queen of Spiders, as well as the Queen of the Demon Web Pits. She was also the most influential goddess of the Drow within the pantheon of Dark Cemetery. And surprise, surprise, her portfolio is the Drow and Spiders, as well as her domain being trickery and war. Do not fuck with Lolth or her followers. But what the heck are these kind of hot spider people?
I mean, generally, I try not to fuck with spiders.
Look, man,
I don't always, but when I do, I bust out the spider gun.
Look, we're all adults here, all right?
Well, listen, old spider gun here has helped me through some tense situations where the kids are scared of spiders, and I have to gamify the process.
Exactly.
It's got a cocking hammer for the thumb. Let's go. I can fan the hammer on these things if I miss. Nerf guns all the way. If you got spider problem in your house, I highly recommend the Nerf hammer shot. Not sponsored. Wish we were. And if one more motherfucker talks to me about getting a assault gun, I'm gonna punch somebody. Ah, damn it. I'm choosing violence today.
Today's the day, boys. All right, let's see here. So Driders were drow that had been transformed from the waist down, so they had the body of a spider. Transformation typically was a punishment for failing a test of Lolth. Driders were created from drow in an agonizing process that required a Yaklol. Is that how you say it? Yaklol? Or to be more precise, Lolth's power was to be channeled through the demon. Ritual that initiated the transformation. This could only be reversed with the wish spell. So if you're turned into a Drider, good fucking luck. When a Lothite drow reached a certain level of power, that drow underwent the test of Lolth administered by Lolth herself. Those who failed this test but survived turned into Driders by the Spider Queen. The second category of Drider origins were drow mages. Part of the duties of Lolth clergy was to ensure that their idea of society was kept free of dissonance and mages and were put under general suspicion. Once they reached a certain level of power, they were abducted and then subjected to a test of loyalty called the test failures. Returned by a Lothite priest rider with magical energy channeled directly from Lolth. So I think these ones are more like the clerics of Lolth. And when I was doing some research into the Arachne, I didn't find much on them other than the fact that there is a sect of Lolth clerics that are Arachne.
Okay.
But there's like nothing about them. So I only assume that these are, they were the drow mages.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense, because you got Driders, because that's like a spider, drow, spider, Drider. And it's like, okay, but they're just out there driding about, scuttling, and wrecking shit. And then you got the Arachne. Yeah. And they're back shooting spells off all over the place.
Drows. Yeah. Right. And then you have the third category of Driders. Came about when Lolth summoned a drow she considered promising to the demon web pits. They were subjected to a test by the Spider Queen, and when they failed, they were also turned into Driders and sent back. Despite the cultural shunning of Driders, some drow wizards and sorcerers developed a spell to turn temporarily into a Drider called Drider Shape.
You know what? Drider Shape Why is that not actively a thing? People would be driders all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, the spell is made. I guess if you had a drow wizard or sorcerer, they could have access to this.
I'm looking at the drider stat block. What CR is that? Like, this might be reasonable.
Oh, they are, did I not write that on here? I wrote their stats down. I didn't write their damn CR.
I'm looking this shit up. Don't worry about me.
CR6, I think.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
that's perfectly reasonable. Terrifying. Disgusting. Bringing back some trauma from the second Harry Potter movie, but but reasonable.
So let's see here. So once turned into these aberrations, riders left their homes in shame, for they were outcast in drow society. They grew physically stronger, kept all magical and other abilities and skills they learned during their lives. Driders were also made sexless because Lolth did not want to have a race of enemies to the drow.
So you get a transformation and you lose your gender in the process.
Yeah, you're not allowed to procreate now. Good luck. No babies for you. Driders naturally developed a venom that could sap their victim's strength and paralyze them for upwards to 20 minutes. They could deliver the venom with a bite, or they could alternatively use it as a sticky coating on their weapons. They were all poisons.
That's gotta be awkward,
Driders
though.
could also reliably climb.
They're all like upper torso, like drow and stuff. So their options are lean over awkwardly to bite you, or just kind of like lick their blade, like gotta poison that.
I think don't they have like a mouth on the? Oh yeah, I guess you are right. They do just kind of like lean down to bite you, I guess. Or I guess they would like pick you up with their front legs and bring you up to them.
They gotta carry you up there. Like, you don't hear about centaurs picking people up to bite them with their horse teeth.
That was really funny. So driders could also reliably climb like spiders. The only difference between these two species' movement abilities was the driders' inability to walk upside down on the ceiling, as they were far too heavy. Thick fucking boys.
My thorax brings all the boys to the yard. There. Shit, is that the right part? I might be an idiot.
No, you're right. You're right.
Well, no, like spiders are like arachnids, so like, is it a thorax if it's an arachnid?
It's like a, what is it called? Like an abdomen? No.
Yeah, I think it's abdomen. Right?
Anyway, about half of the drider population had the ability to spin webs like spiders. They could do so up to 10 times per day, and these webs worked like a rope of entanglement. It was dangerous for everybody except for its creator. They also had a shorter range dark vision than that of a drow, though their senses were sharper.
Well, I guess that makes sense.
Why would their dark vision be diminished by turning into a drider? They have the same eyes as before.
Well, they're taller, so they're like higher up, so they have to look down at everything.
They're more like spider-like eyes, I would think, right? Like.
Oh, so they get spider eyes, but because they don't have 8 eyes, they're kind of fucked in the sight department.
Yeah. They get like the half spider deal. Oh, so I also did. I got a little bit of notes for anyone who is not too familiar with, Arachne. Arachne in Greek mythology was a weave who acquired such skill in her art that she ventured to challenge Athena, goddess of war.
Yes.
Athena wove a tapestry depicting the gods in majesty, while that of Arachne, I believe, showed kind of the sins of the gods on mankind. And, naturally pissed off Athena, and he kind of tore the tapestry in pieces. In despair, Arachne hung herself, or attempted to. I don't think the story is too solid. The goddess out of...
They usually aren't, but, after a few thousand years, celebrity culture hasn't changed much.
The point is she was like gonna hang herself, and then Athena was like, not so soon. Turn that rope into a web, turned it into a spider. You know, you're wrecked.
Athena, the original suicide hotline.
Yeah. kind of a dick move, but the god is kind of good though.
Yeah, the Greek gods were known for just like, yo, hold up, we're gonna do some fucked up shit. Like,
I mean, to be honest, like these people should have known better.
I don't know. Like, no, you want to talk known better? But most of Greek mythology happens in an era before consent was invented.
I mean, that's a fair point. Yeah, you got me there.
True.
I'm not talking about that though. This is making a tapestry.
But shout out to my boy Hades for practicing consent before the rest of the gods. Oh no, Sam, I can't hear you. Sam!
No, he disconnected.
Oh, what do we do without our boy? Most unfortunate.
So, yeah.
I think he's still talking, so I might have to message him if he's not already...
I think he realized it now.
Yeah, so he might have to pop back in. Don't worry, everybody. Technical difficulties is the regular here. We did it, Sam! We got more technical difficulties! I'm waiting to hear from him any moment now. Like, he popped in. He's gone! I thought I had it all, and then I had nothing. It's times like this that I'm grateful that I'm not Wizards of the Coast.
Oh yeah, why is that?
Well, for all my faults, at least I'm not trying to rescue my fan base with Naruto animation.
Yeah, have I returned from the ether?
You have.
You really got to stop casting Blink in the middle of a podcast.
Oh Jesus! The Drider just kind of stole me away for a hot minute. I had to escape back to the material plane.
Yes. But he's back. I lost my train of thought, so
they didn't like me talking about their stats, I guess.
But you know what? It's our fault for bad mouthing the gods.
True. All right, do I need to repeat the stats, or did you hear that part?
We did not hear the part about stats,
all right.
But I think we got the general gist of webbing all day, every day.
Yeah, they're pretty strong. They got kind of all-around stats, for a CR6, nothing too crazy.
Well, given this is a lower CR, I'm going to give this one an IRL fight score, because most of the time the things we bring into the show are fuck no. So
hold on, before you do that real quick, let me give you a little bit more of their ability.
Ooh, give me that intel, boy.
All Driders could inherently class clairaudience and clairvoyance, dancing lights, darkness, detect good, detect law, detect magic, dispel magic, fairy fire, levitate, and suggestion once per day. Darn once noted that these abilities were essentially the same as owned by powerful blessed drow, and used this fact to dupe Driders into supporting his cause by calling them blessed creatures of Loth by pointing this out. That's interesting.
Okay.
He could also cast spells like normal clerics, sorcerers, or wizards. Those who could cast spells like clerics could cast spells from two of the chaos, destruction, evilry, and trickery domain. Evil and trickery domain. Sorry, I can't read apparently.
Don't worry. It turns out, 4 out of 5 Americans can read, so we're doing pretty good for ourselves these days.
They also had the Fey Ancestry. They have the advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic cannot be used to put them to sleep. Wisdom was their spellcasting ability. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and that's about it. Oh, they also have a disadvantage on attack rolls, as well as perception checks in sunlight.
Okay, that makes sense. But you're gonna fight these things in the Underdark, or like in the corner of your room under your bed.
System. Yeah. My closet or something, you know.
Yeah, you know, like maybe at the top corner of your shower.
Right. You know, while you're taking a shit, like underneath the toilet seat.
A Drider pops out.
Long sword in hand.
Yeah, exactly. Pops out of the toilet. These are large creatures, so I mean,
I can ride them. You're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
They are chaotic evil, though, so you know.
Well, hey, listen, if they can do it in Spy Kids, I can do it too.
That's a fair point. You know what? That changes everything. I'm gonna give them like a 6. I can take them.
You think? Okay. I gotta hear this argument. What?
All right. So first of all, we've already kind of gone over how they're kind of shit at seeing, right? So, you know, that's like half the battle. They can't even see you coming. What are they gonna do? Like,
they still have dark vision though. So.
You about to sneak? Like, you can sneak up one of these things.
All you gotta do is get out of their like line of sight. They're fucking spiders, right? Like, you know, like 2 ranges of motion. You gotta, you know, I don't imagine that their side to side is that good. You know
I don't know. They're built like a crab.
But they're spiders.
Oh, that's true. I can confirm crabs are not spiders.
Yeah.
Probably.
You know what? Spiders have collective hatred for like fire, you know? And I would feel like I would take like a flashlight or something, turn my brightness of my phone, flash them in the eyes real quick. Go crazy. Get on their back, then what are they gonna do? Like
turn around and bite you because now they don't have to like.
They have like 360 like spine movement.
Well,
they got like, the owl powers. They can rotate their head 360 degrees.
Oh God.
Okay, I'm loving this argument.
I can take them. All right, maybe like a 7.
Okay, I gotta hear Max. IRL fight score out at 1 being easy for you, 10 being no fucking way. Could you take a Drider in a fight?
Nah, man. That would be like 12. I'm not a fighter, and I'm not messing with a half fighter, half girl demon thing.
I appreciate the honesty, but
yeah.
You know, I would think that you might have a better chance. I mean, you bust out ye old Craig's messer.
All right, Orion. What about you? You think you could take one?
You know what? I'd say I'm leaning towards like a 7.2.
I feel like it would be like a tough fight, but like, yeah, I feel like they have weaknesses you could exploit. You know, it wouldn't be like you get stomped immediately.
Like I have to be in control of the encounter for that to even work.
Yeah.
Like you know me.
Catch you in the ambush, you're fucked. Like
like if they ambush me, I'm done anyway. Poison.
The second you get by a web, it's over. Like
yeah. The second they web me up, but like 2 things. I always carry a lighter, even though I don't smoke. I always carry a blade because who doesn't carry a knife ready for everything? What, you don't carry a knife with you always?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, good. You should always carry a knife. You never know when you need to butter toast, cut rope. Like knives are good for everything.
Exactly.
3. Anytime I go anywhere, I keep my I've been too lazy to take it out of the car, so I keep my bow and arrows in the car.
Hell yeah, strapped and ready.
Yeah. I actually was testing that out today, and it's like I got about 120 meters worth of range on that.
Well, if a Drygar ever comes busting out the sewer system, you know, we know you're ready.
Yeah, so first, at long range, I'll start with the 5 fuck around arrows, which are all bullet tipped. And
I
then
always like to think about these scenarios in like a death battle situation.
Yeah, like
set on like a football field. You just gotta dash it out.
yeah. And then like if I get into like a small place and like kind of lure it in, maybe trap it a little bit.
Water. I'm listening.
Okay, so like I think if I like kind of like trick it into getting into a small place and I light one of the other arrows, like I kind of like get it with like some like maybe melt like a little bit of plastic onto it, light that, like maybe some styrofoam on the arrow, and like get it with one of the broadheads. Those are the find out arrows. And you know, get them in the point blank, maybe hope for the best, maybe I don't die. Aim for the torso, because that exoskeleton, I don't think I'm punching through that exoskeleton.
I like the fuck around and find out arrows.
I know. Because
see, that's why you gotta get them in the soft human bits or the soft drow bits.
Yeah, you gotta shoot for the drow bits, or shoot them in their terrible eyes.
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying like when once you get on that back, they're done for.
Well, I guess this is all predicated on if I'm out and about, I'm driving, I got my car, so like on the side of one car, I got a good sized knife, and on the passenger side, there's my little smithing 2.5 pound hammer. So like, get them far away for the bow, and if they get up close, I chuck the hammer at them, and then.
I love that you could just like hit them with your car.
Well, this is D&D, sir. I'm not going to presume that I'm always going to be able to just hit them with my car, but that would definitely be the first go-to.
Drive up, I get out of my car, I pull out my car.
Well, yeah. This is a fight, sir. You might pull up on somebody, but you don't just pull up on somebody.
Drive with your bow, like
Very honorable.
driving with your feet.
Dude, it'd be the most difficult shot of my life, but damn if I wouldn't try.
All right, alternatively, you shoot with your feet and drive with your hands.
I've seen videos where people do that.
I've seen it done. Yeah. This episode is going places.
Damn. We got spiders, we got insects. I'm good.
That is all I have for driders and arachnids today, guys.
Damn. Apparently, I got a drider plan, so I'm good.
Oh man.
All right. Well, let's see. What are we at for time, Sam?
I'm not sure. My thing died.
Okay, we're good. We're good on time. I just had to check that real quick.
I think now is a good time for your descriptive.
Well, for this week's descriptive word, I'm going a little bit more European, a little French.
Okay. We're cultured here.
Yeah. We're a real cultured lot. So I've been butchering this word for a couple years now, and no one told me. It's even more embarrassing because my wife is like proficient in French, and she just let this happen.
She let you be ignorant.
Yes. Like the most insulting thing you could say to me is, "Orion, you're ignorant," and I've been running around saying this word wrong for years. Now, how I was saying it is Adelaire, because that's how it's spelled.
Adelaide.
Yeah, Atelier. Adelaire.
Atelier. Okay, gotcha.
Atelier.
But how it's actually said is atelier.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Fuck me, right?
What does that mean?
An atelier is a workshop or studio, especially for like artists and designers. So like, you know, parties investigating, maybe someone got like killed, and like you got to check out their atelier, their art studio, their workshop. Maybe like they did like a lot of woodworking and some painting, and like they had like the whole setup, some real Da Vinci looking shit.
Right. Then you find a painting made out of flesh, and then it comes to life and tries to fight the party. You know, all
painting
kinds of
flesh
fun
golem.
ideas.
I love it.
Exactly. You know, just a menagerie of ideas you can do with that.
Yeah, because this ain't just an art studio; it's an atelier. So we have to have that fancy flesh painting that tries to consume you.
It does kind of give like a magical kind of feel to it.
Yeah, and it also would be good for like maybe if you're dealing with more royalty and nobles, like your common worker has, their workshop, the art studio, the nobles, the atelier.
Yeah, I didn't just spill water all over my
leg. You spill water on your leg, or did you piss yourself? No judgment. I came damn close last week.
If I say I did, would I win this episode?
No way.
Anyone who listens to Distractable may get that reference.
Right. I would certainly hope so.
I like it.
Moving back into insects and stuff, Max, tell us more about your whole homebrew setting and world and everything that you've been working on.
Yeah, for sure. Where I even begin? It's been such a long ride since I started creating Insectopia. So like I said before, all started with the player's guide and the first couple of insectoid races on the Unearthed Arcana. And now I'm actually working on a setting to bring all these awesome insectoid races to life.
Oh man! Sorry, I mean interrupt. Do you think you'll be running like a game once you're done?
I hope so. I've actually sadly never gotten to play test my stuff.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Very shame.
Well, look, shit. We have DMs here if you need people to play test for you.
Awesome. Yeah.
We'd love to.
The Nerd Militia has got plenty of people that want to play, and not enough people running games, so that's always a thing.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to you on that one. Yeah, awesome.
But yeah, please. So I'm wondering, when you were making Insectopia and everything, did you watch like A Bug's Life and like Ants?
Well, not particularly Bug's Life, but I've kind of studied like insects for a while. I researched stuff online and stuff, gotten inspiration from real bugs, and you can see many like abilities of the insect races have very large inspiration, of course, from the real life counterparts. For example, my termite race, the necrites, can consume wood as as food, basically, which relates back to the real life.
Do you have like a favorite insect, whether it be from your thing or like a real life insect?
Good question.
Because I always feel like people ask me that.
Many.
And I think about I really like moths.
Yeah.
Head moths. I really love those.
Yeah,
really
like the Mothman thing behind you.
Yeah, I really love like Hercules beetles.
Oh, those are so fucking cool.
Yeah, man.
Those are great.
I just love all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I actually kind of love bumblebees. I don't know why.
Bumblebees are awesome.
Yeah, just because they are like the real life insect is so like cute and fluffy, and so like just improve the
just a bumble buddy.
yeah, exactly. And I've of course also made a bumble subrace for my Vespoid race, and they are basically completely different. They are powerhouses, like huge, muscular creatures of pure strength. Yeah, the powerhouses of the hive, basically.
Was there like a particular are like looking forward to working with or like coming up with ideas for?
Oh man. Also a very good question.
Oh,
I've enjoyed creating every single race
yeah.
in the book. Um, I can't even really put a finger on one.
Mm.
Actually, probably my ant race, the formicoids.
Mm.
I had a ability. I try to bring the ants' natural strength into the
Mhm.
and they have basically an ability where they can use the larger damage die of versatile weapon, and they wield it in one hand. Basically.
Yeah, that makes
I like
sense.
To give
that.
them more
I
strength.
do like that.
You know
Yes.
what? I've decided if I play in a game like with all this insect stuff, grasshopper.
Dude,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
This is why I asked the life and the ants question, because I think about like the grasshoppers and like they're so cool.
Yeah.
They are. I love grasshoppers in real life because, like, when I was a kid, I used to catch them all the time. You know, the ones that flutter around with the little wings that they go all over the yard. Like, dude, I would hoard them. And I'd like catch like a whole bunch and stuff them in my mailbox. And then when the mailman would show up, he'd just get like it'd be like a
What
biblical
the
swarm
hell?
of these little locust-looking things coming out.
Yeah.
This house is cursed.
Yeah, he quit after a month. Ah, damn.
This poor mailman thought there was like a plague in this house. Turn the slab.
In retrospect, I feel kind of bad for harassing this poor mail dude with a swarm of locusts coming out of a mailbox. But
That's so funny.
you know, when you're a kid, you make your own kind of fun.
Oh, man.
True. Yeah, when you get around to making your character, we actually also have, of course, a grasshopper race, the Thoptra, which have two sub races as well, the locust and cricket sub races.
Nice.
Ooh,
crickets
locust all
focus
day.
on, yeah,
This is cool.
crickets are basically then focused on like more this musical element, right? They are basically naturally bardic.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
They can use their limbs actually as musical instruments.
Oh, hell yeah.
And,
damn. Never lose your spellcasting focus.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And the locusts are more like your ranger hunters. They they can get a flying speed as well.
Yeah, man.
Ooh,
I always think about,
I would
like,
love to
like
play a
D&D.
ranger locust grasshopper dude.
Oh yeah, you just like jump up. You're like, ah.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
That'd be sick. That'd be really cool.
The jump shots would be wild.
I was thinking of mantis or like pulling out like a beetle character. You know, that sounds fun.
The mantis race I like as well. I kind of try to do a bit of like I think you call it sexual dimorphism or something, with two sub races which are basically biologically, one is male, one is female.
Right.
And the orchid and the warrior mantis. And the warrior is basically all about like grappling. So they have a reactive grapple as a reaction. And the orchids are more like psionically aligned.
Oh yeah.
They have like psionic spells and stuff like that.
Right. I like that. Yeah, I kind of did the same thing when I made that mantis homebrew character. Kind of made like a monk fighter soldier kind of deal. Protect the queen. Blah, blah, blah.
Ooh, like trust and believe someone's gonna run into the campaign with a ladybug character.
Oh yeah.
For sure, man. I really want to create a character which is like this cute little ladybug, but secretly like is a complete like sadist or something, to like completely throw over like the conceptions.
I like that.
Maybe a rogue assassin or something like that.
Okay, here's another question. Have you had any ideas where you're like, oh man, I wish this could work, but there's no way?
I wish this could work, but there's no way.
Yeah,
No, I don't think I actually have any ideas that I don't try to make work. in any sense.
Right.
I'm always trying to like get my vision on the paper and tweak it around and make it basically.
Right. Oh yeah.
Ooh, an idea just kind of struck me. And hear me out. A roly-poly mafia.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
A mafia full of roly-polies, and a ladybug is the mob boss.
Oh god, yes.
Please. All right, that's a party idea right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. Roly-polies, let's roll out.
so good.
Amazing.
The rolling mob.
Oh.
Dude, just imagine like the party shows up and everything's like they get in that intense showdown with the big bad. It's like roll in, boys, and just like they're surrounded like these little they roll in all over the place and boom, out of nowhere, just a whole bunch of roly polies.
Right? Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I actually haven't created a roly-poly race myself yet, but I think people on my Discord have.
Yeah.
I have amazing folk on my Discord, and they also create like Insectopia aligned homebrew as well. I think it's amazing.
To link your Discord to us and everything.
For sure, I will. It's an amazing community we've built there. It's really kind people. We have a few regulars that talk on it every day, like about D&D and other TTRPGs, life in general. It's very very.
It'd be good to meet them, I think.
Absolutely. Like I'm pretty proud of how things have gone with our Discord, and I'm glad like more people are utilizing it for projects like this.
Yeah, actually, I mean, it's really cool. I love seeing people excited about the things they're doing.
Honestly. Let's see. Do we got anything else, Sam?
We got our homebrew.
Ah, yes. Talking so much on homebrew that I almost forgot about our homebrew. You want to go first, or should I?
I'll go ahead and start it off this time. All right, so I was looking through Tumblr, looking for something cool to catch my eye.
But then all of a sudden...
Generic grill, lots of fun, excellent.
Yeah, generic realm people. Let's go.
Griffin's Saddlebag, we love their stuff. I've talked about them a few times.
You do love Griffin's Saddlebag homebrew.
Yeah, they're kind of like my main Tumblr boy,
If anyone out there wants to share their homebrew so Sam can diversify a little bit, Please. Hit them up.
I try to find the ones on Tumblr, but they're all around, all over the place. It's hard to find the ones that are like specified on like I made this stuff. This stuff is my, you know what I mean?
Yeah, people have when it comes to Tumblr, it's hard to be like, okay, who actually made this?
Right. So I want to give credit where credit is due.
We do enjoy giving people credit.
Right. So this time I want to talk about the wand of incense. So this wand is a rare item, requires attunement by a master. This item is a magic incense holder sculpted in the design of a smoldering dragon. Its base is wrapped in leather and doubles as a handle of a wand. A stick of special magic incense appears in the holder daily at dawn, which is held in place by the dragon's mouth and cannot be removed until it is burned away. The special incense smells like a heady brimstone and fills you with a sense of confidence. While a stick of incense is in the holder, it doubles as a wand. So, I don't know if you can put up a picture of it, but it is pretty fucking cool.
You know what? I think I can. Let me just, you sent it to me earlier. Let me pull that up.
I did. Yeah, I'll go ahead and keep reading. So the wand has 3 charges for the following properties. When the special incense reappears at dawn, so too do the wand's 3 charges. The incense only burns down when you expend the wand's charges, so doing so proportionally to the number it has remaining. Any of the special incense is remaining when the new stick appears. It's replaced completely by... Right. So, while holding the wand, you can use an action to expend one of its charges, cast one of the following spells, using a spell attack bonus of +7. Find Familiar in the form of a pseudo-dragon, Fall Cloud, the cloud is made of smoke, Misty Step or Scorching Ray, if your attunement to the wand ends, the familiar is lost. Oh, Misty Step or Scorching Ray. If your attunement to the wand ends, the familiar is lost. When you cast Misty Step in this way, you leave behind and reappear in a cloud of smoke that heavily obscures both spaces until the start of your next turn. I think that's pretty cool.
I like the look of it, and
Yeah.
like I'm the kind of guy that likes to burn incense around my house. So the concept, like in between fights and stuff, you go to town, you hit up a shop, and you can buy a set of incense.
And every day, one will appear for you. It's pretty cool.
Well, you could have like a whole set of incense. Like you could just make everything smell amazing all the time.
Kind of an excuse to create, magical incense with different properties.
Ooh, so with a little bit of homebrew on the DM and players' part, we'll work together on that. You could have tons of fun ways to augment this. Like, dude, there's an incense called Dragon's Blood. Tell me that wouldn't have game ramifications.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, the flow ability on this thing, there's Draconic Ward. While you can smell the incense burning, you can't be frightened by dragons. In addition, a dragon that smells the incense has disadvantage on any attack roll it makes against. If you have a stick of incense, you can use an action to place it in the empty holder. Normal incense burned in the holder never loses any of its total burn time, but it is expelled from the holder when the special incense expires at dawn. So you have infinite, normal incense, but it'll be yeeted from it when the new one appears. Incense burned from the holder can be smelled by any creature within 60 feet. While holding the wand, you can choose whether or not the incense is burning. No action required.
All right. I like that.
And I feel like in the same sense, you could kind of reflavor this into being a pipe if you have a character that like smokes, or something.
Oh, yeah. There's tons of potential there.
Yeah, super cool idea. I like this a lot.
All right. Well, we talked a little bit about One Piece at the start of the show, so I'm kind of going to bring it full circle. I'm into One Piece, and if anyone really needs to steal some ideas from a show for their players, most of your players aren't going to watch it. 1,000+ episodes, that's too much of a time investment. Attention spans are at an all-time low. Now's your chance for something that they'll never know.
Sure, you can live out your dreams of having your One Piece campaign.
And they'll never know. You might have to change some names of things in case they hear through the grapevine, but
Exactly. Can have a character named Boofy,
Dude. So what I present to you from the 1D's 5th edition Homebrew Player's Handbook, which is set for an entire campaign, ripe with stuff for you to just take and run with as you please, whether it be dials or the concept of illegal weapons. Okay. Which illegal weapons is really fun. It's like you already got magical type weapons, but illegal weapons are like, okay, an uncommon one might have the potential to wipe out a house. A rare one might have the potential to wipe out a block. A legendary would have the potential to wipe out a town. Like, okay. Right. Just look, there's tons of ideas in here. Like, dude, illegal weapons in D&D. The concept that there's magic items and shit, but if you get caught with certain things that have a certain damage threshold, all of a sudden you got problems.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that this would already be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can't... Maybe some spells would be illegal outright. Like, you can't... Yeah, like...
I mean, you do see a lot of that with, like, necromancy spells, In a lot of cases, what is it called? Like, reanimation stuff is banned outright,
That's usually the case in most settings, but I would imagine, like, how many cities want fireball being cast within 100 miles of them? You know what I mean?
You know, you got like half wood houses, people's livelihoods. And
Yeah,
stuff.
most evocation's usually destructive as fuck.
In a lot of cases, you have like fights will break out in like a building or something, and like people are casting fireball inside buildings and stuff. Like that's not gonna blow out a wall or set the building on fire or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, you'll have trouble with burning hands.
Yeah. And you got to keep in mind, like there are actively people supposed to be, you know, in these environments. A lot of the cases, you know.
Well,
Suddenly that town turned on you for burning down this building. Like,
yeah, like, you know, starting a fire isn't exactly the best move sometimes. But
yeah.
that aside, I'm talking about the TheNerdMilitia, which is the English translation is transponder snail. I fucking love these things. They are a species of telepathic snails that can be used for vocal communications, like phones. So if you want to keep a fantasy setting, but you want to have your players have the ability to have a phone call every now and then, a little bit of networking, maybe the bad guys find out some shit because someone made a phone call.
Look, these are very, very common items. You know, you see these in a lot of campaigns, whether it be like a sending stone or something, or a transponder snail.
The last campaign I was working on, there was a slow development towards a sending network.
Yeah, right.
And I really did just kind of let them be used straight up like,
you know, like
phones.
In our last game session, when you used your proficiency with psionic magic to create kind of a group chat with the party.
Yeah, and these work on the same principle because these are psychic snails. Yeah. Now they come in various sizes, shapes, and shells, and they'll typically have receivers and dials, kind of like augmented and built into their shells and bodies.
And I just think of like the Adventure Time like snails or whatever.
Yeah, these so basically they modify the shells to be able to utilize their psychic nature and stuff. Yeah, like that, because like they're snails, so they move into new shells. So you can. That's how a lot of their augmentations come about. Now the standard snail, it is commonly used. Let's see. The most commonly used one have telepathic abilities that allow them to serve as telephones. When two of them connect to each other, any sound that plays into one will be transmitted and sent over to the other and be perfectly replicated by the receiving snail, and vice versa. And when this happens, they'll straight start talking, but it'll be that other person's voice. Right.
It's just like they become like a speaker.
Yeah, their mouth is a speaker, effectively, and which I find hilarious. Like, imagine you got this ugly ass big old snail, then you're talking to some lady on the other end.
Mom, is that you?
No, Mom, it's not a phase. I can come home anytime I want. I just don't want to. Okay, so there are.
I love snails.
Yeah, they're just amazing. Like, you got the baby ones. They're much smaller than the regular ones for obvious reasons, but you can conceal them in clothing, and you can hide them in places to avoid detection. And they have a weaker signal range, so they're not going to go nearly as far. But
right.
That's good for stealth missions. Yeah, they're like earbuds. And they legit used them like earbuds in the One Piece live action that I was watching through with the wife this week.
That's pretty funny. Do they like crawl in your ear?
I think they crawl up next to the ear, like you put them on top.
Oh, you put the shell like in your ear?
No, you could probably it just crawls up in your ear canal and just starts speaking.
Oh man, having a slimy snail in my ear.
That's what I'm saying. You just plug the shell in there.
It's just a wet earbud. Who hasn't dropped their earbud in the toilet and be like, oh shit, let me just put that back in there. The relatable problems.
Damn. This just in. Brian's got doo-doo ears.
I'm not speaking from personal experience. No. We also got the black transponder snails. These are meant to intercept and listen in on other people's communications.
Spy snails.
Yeah, spy snails, dude. Often used by government agents and spies for obvious reasons. Then you got the white species, which are used to act as interference against spy snails. So it's like one's good for like stealing transmissions. One acts as a jammer.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Like a server. Yeah. Server jammer. Like.
Yeah. So the white snail is your VPN.
Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to like you would have like a organization that's like doesn't want any intrusions, they don't want anybody listening in.
Yeah, like a like the Harpers or like maybe like a revolutionary army or some wild, maybe like a thieves guild uses these kind of things.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. They would have both like white and black.
And this opens up so many things where your players can try to steal one of the enemy's transponder snails, because like although they have the ability to listen in, normally like oh no, their way of being able to steal intel doesn't work. They're too sneaky.
Say, like if you're having a party, and they're fighting like an active organization, there's no reason you wouldn't find these on some of the members.
It's reasonable, and it makes it open and easy access if you implement these into a game, and communication networks can build storytelling.
Suddenly you're listening in, you got a radio tuned to their station.
Yeah, and that can be a great way to tell your players where to go, because a lot of parties find themselves not knowing where to go.
What? Now you can drop encoded hints to your players.
Yeah. It's like, oh, they don't know what they're doing. They're just kind of standing around, like maybe we'll go shopping. All of a sudden, the one with the transponder snail that's been listening into the enemy spy network. Oh, guys, come on. That's
your one's a little defective, so it just screams.
You can give him tons of quirks. Just going around trying to sneak through the dungeon. Ah! Hold on, I gotta take this call.
I'm sorry, guys.
Mom, I told you not to call me while I'm on adventures. You left your shield at home. We got other ones. There are visual snails that they can transmit images and video feed.
That's really cool.
So it's like, yeah, dude, that their eyes start flashing, and they can also act as projectors.
Oh, nice. So I would imagine this for like the leaders, like the government. Or whatever would have these.
Yeah, they could have Zoom calls and everyone's all awkward. Yeah,
exactly.
or surveillance cameras. Mm-hmm. You could have a snail a telepathic surveillance system, and all of it's just kind of like linked up through like maybe a mind flayer that taps into the psionic network.
Oh, damn.
Dude, because like now it's like, what if you walk into a building, you look around, it looks like a pretty regular place.
Is that a snail?
Yeah, what's a snail up there for?
Yeah, like as far as your players are concerned, if they're used to just the audio ones, they might not know to be like, oh, don't worry about it. We just gotta sneak past and be quiet. No, it's looking at you.
You see it. You made eye contact with it.
Yeah, and unlike a normal video camera feed, like, oh, shoot out the cameras, we got to go kill an innocent animal. Oh, damn. Okay, and it goes further. Let's see, the special ones, considered to be very rare, these are kind of like reserved for like high-end nobility, government officials, used for emergencies. They can send emergency signals So like the gold ones will send like a signal, and like any silver one within I don't even know. You could decide the range as a DM, but effectively, this is the kind of snail that you'd use to call an assault. Like, okay, drone strike snail.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
okay,
like a gold snail could be like the nuclear launch codes.
Oh, yeah, like only ring this in like absolute emergency.
Yeah, like you sneak into the king's castle and you steal the nuclear launch button. Like you press this snail's button, every high-level mage in the country is gonna cast Meteor Swarm addressed to whoever it may concern.
Holy shit!
In One Piece, such a action would be called a Buster Call, which I love the term Buster Call. Like, oh, we're just going to absolutely just demolish this island or this city or country.
Like hundreds of mages in like a whole country just suddenly cast a meteor swarm.
Oh shit, if every mage in your country came together because you pressed a button to cast Fireball on one location. Now you're cooking with gas. That's real power.
I mean, they used to do, they would have hundreds of mages do rituals and make the 9th level spells or whatever.
Oh, and another fun thing that players would really latch onto is in the show, transponder snails take on like some of the appearance of their owner.
Oh, is that why he has like that one with the little hat on it?
Yeah, like sometimes people dress them up to look like themselves, and other times like they just straight start developing a psionic connection with the owner, so they'll start to resemble the owner. Like maybe they'll grow like a certain hairstyle or eyebrows or like a like a teeth or whatever.
Nail with teeth.
Yeah, like you got a fucking one member of the party that's all meth mouth looking, and that affects the snail. Dude, could you imagine?
When you could really flavor these to be anything.
Honestly, and that's what I love about them. There's just so much story potential, because there's a lot that's lost in our typical D&D fantasy settings by not being able to communicate quickly. Like, fast communication is a game changer. Like, your party could be easily ambushed by a band of bandits that has the ability to coordinate. Like, wars are won and lost based off of intelligence and communication.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like if you're able to kind of like convey like a tactile intelligence to your enemies, that just makes like the threat that much more.
It can also be used to build bonds with NPCs that the players don't get to see very often.
Yeah. They're like, here, if you ever need me,
Yeah, if you ever need us, call this number. Or you just give them a snail that's a direct line, Yeah. Or maybe they give you a direct line.
Exactly.
Now, you did something similar in our campaign where Cosmo is a direct line to the king.
Exactly, yeah. Got a little half yours familiar. Kind of lent you a familiar.
Yeah, we got this familiar as a loner. We've got to bring him back with a full tank of gas.
Yeah, he just feeds on your dreams a little bit.
Not my dreams. I need those.
But all right. Anything else?
I think that's about it. I was very excited to talk about transponder snails this week, and I'm glad to have you back for it.
Yeah, this was a nice episode. Happy to have you, Grimley.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Very excited to. So when do you think we could expect your new stuff?
So we actually update the World Anvil page of our setting semi-regularly. So we try to bring out like at least an article per month, hopefully more in the future. So yeah, join the Discord if you want to be up to date for that one. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now's the time, go ahead and plug yourself. Where can these fine people find you?
Yes, so easiest way to find me is probably on Reddit. Username Grimley533. Otherwise, like I said, on War Panel, the setting of Varzen, which is the setting I'm working on. That's basically it.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. I highly recommend trying a little bit of promo through Twitter, because the community there is very receptive to like promoting each other's settings and work. So if you really want to like get more eyes on your team right there, that might be a good way to do it.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna look into it. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it was great having you. It was a fun episode.
I've had fun. Yeah.
Guys, please check out Grimley and everybody's making. I look forward to it, and I hope we get to, be in a game with you one day and experience all your stuff.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. And everyone out there, you have a great weekend. Looking forward to next week's episode. We're going to have the Gnome Depot on, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Ooh, nice.
And got a very comical way of going about his homebrew, so I'm personally very excited. With a name like that, you can't go wrong.
Absolutely. Guys, stay tuned for that next week, and hope you liked this episode. Hope you enjoy it in the future. Check us out. We're Dungeons and Talkshows. Find us on our socials, on our YouTube, our Twitter, TikTok, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, join the Discord and stuff. But hey, we're nerds, so what do we know? And